hello. You're blurry on my end, but I think that once we publish it, you'll look not blurry.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the background's intentionally blurry, right? But
But your face.
this God's gift to Zoom is no. Oh my gosh, I'm getting salt and peppery. No, I was gonna say welcome or hello from the Westin in Chattanooga, a gorgeous gold building that if you're coming in to the city, you can't miss it. Um, and so this, listeners, is one of a Daniel Hall classic hack for remote workers, the underappreciated or undervalued spaces for remote workers,
Yes.
hotel lobbies.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know that a lot of people tap into this the square footage that often goes unused, often free Wi-Fi, sometimes if you're lucky, free coffee. So this
Hmm.
is the free value that you get from Seth Said What. Go visit your local nice. I'm not talking about your Holiday Inn. I'm talking about like this is the Westin Chattanooga, beautiful outdoor seating, a fireplace right here,
Yeah.
and I just doing some work, getting some work done.
It's so funny that you say that because I was thinking about that yesterday, actually. Um, like if I was a hotel, I feel like I would sell like community passes or something to be able to have access because it also makes you look more. I mean, you don't want to be so busy that like people feel like, you know, like it's too busy that I don't want to
That's right.
stay at this hotel. But if you have a restaurant or a coffee shop or something like that that's in your lobby, I feel like it's a win-win-win. It helps the retailers that are
It
there.
looks like there's life, there's activity, but you don't want quite the like society of work, we work
Yeah.
vibe, but you do want like some life and some
Yeah,
activity.
exactly. Ah, well, that's
Well, there you go.
lovely.
There's a hack.
I love it. Okay, I have
Shall
not
we
read
jump in?
today's. Let's do it. Do you want to read
All right.
today's?
I can read. Okay, here we go. Well, I said that and I'm on the wrong blog. So my apologies. Here we go. All that torque. A screwdriver works because the handle's bigger than the screw. You can twist the handle with leverage, causing the screw to turn. The bigger the handle, the more leverage you have. We've spent $1 trillion building a worldwide communications and AI network, and you can have access to the whole thing for $20 or free if you go to the library. All that tech, those connections, the programs, the learnings, the communities, torque that's available to anyone who earns our attention. Corporations and governments used to need to hire 1,000 people to even come close to having that leverage that any individual reading this has right now. And then
Yeah.
Seth reiterates that he has a Kickstarter that we again would encourage you. He's doing a live thing. Please support Seth. That allows
Hmm.
us to do this podcast. As long as Seth's putting out a blog, we get to do Seth Says What. So
Yeah, and I'm also
all that
looking at,
torque, Holly.
yes, I actually might be able to join that. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern time today, which I might be able to take a look and watch that. It'd be fun. Well, I want to read that last line again. Corporations and governments used to need to hire 1,000 people to even come close to having the leverage that any individual reading this has right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. I agree. But that doesn't mean that it's easier because I think we
Mm,
have more competition and it's noisier than ever. And so because every individual has more leverage than corporations and governments ever used to have, or used to have to hire 1,000 people for, I think it's that much harder to achieve what you are trying to achieve. So yeah, he's absolutely right. But
yeah.
I don't necessarily think that that makes it. I mean, gosh, it's hard because it's like it does make it easier to get for like a liftoff, but to actually like get into space,
Yeah.
that is so much harder.
That's a great analogy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. To launch, to get off the ground. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So my friend Liam Savage, he has a whole innovation launch pad and a lot of space. When you go through it, you're a cohort that's named after a space shuttle. So he has a lot of space in it. I feel like this is right up his right down his alley. What am I saying?
Hmm.
But yeah, getting off the launch pad has never been easier. Getting into like orbit, maybe that's it. Like getting into
Yes.
orbit and sustaining is maybe more difficult. Okay, let's keep going with the analogy because there's never been more satellites in space. So
That's
like
so
that's a real example, right? Is that there's
true.
so much up there now. Yeah, that it's a crowded orbit.
Yes, it's very
It's a good
true.
analogy.
Yep. It's very, very true. So, anyway,
I think
yeah.
it's Seth further galvanizing. Don't stay on the sidelines, um, because of all the resources and investment that's gone into all the innovations leading up to today, this moment. Don't stay on the sidelines. It's easier to get off the launch pad. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
hmm,
That's that's so funny, Daniel. I appreciate you saying that because, like, I'm coming into today's conversation kind of feeling today's one of those days as an entrepreneur where I'm just tired and it's Wednesday. It's like I'm, I'm just feeling the feels today around being an entrepreneur. That's like, this is hard. And so I appreciate, so I was reading negativity into this. Like I was carrying my own emotional weight into what I like the torque thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm feeling that torque today. Like it is, I am feeling how hard, like, sure, I've got more torque than ever, but that doesn't mean that like I'm still having to work my muscles, right? Like, so that's what I'm
yeah,
reading into it. And then for you to remind that it's like, he's just trying to say, you can do it. And so, like,
that's right.
just do it. It's you can do it. So I appreciate you
Well,
reminding me that.
yeah, it's interesting. I just came from a lunch meeting with a friend who, yeah, I'm trying to be careful, I guess, but with a new friend who all he thinks about is day in and day out, his job is around helping local nonprofits to thrive and flourish. And he's basically just saying, like, you might be shocked to know of how many people are still adverse um, or just not adopting innovation or
Mhm.
this AI thing. They're just still not engaging with it. So, or you and I read this and it's almost like, man, do we even talk about this? Because um, like we're already talking about AI and have examples of how we leverage it in our work. Just had a conversation that's like, he's kind of picking my brain, like, well, if give you this scenario, like, how would you encourage or galvanize them towards adopting, seeing the benefit of picking up these tools? And we talked about, and I love that he said $20 because I just 45 minutes ago was like, the $20, let's just choose ChatGPT Plus. The
Yeah.
$20 a month value that as an individual in my personal life, much less professional life, that I get out of that $20, probably the best $20 any human on earth could spend is on ChatGPT Plus for $20 right now.
Yeah.
It's insane
Yeah.
the amount
It
of
really
torque,
is.
right? For $20.
Yes, that torque. That's so true. That's awesome. Well, such a good, yeah. I'll read it again. Corporations and governments used to need to hire 1,000 people to even come close to having the leverage that any individual reading this has right now. And we could say that any individual listening or watching this has right now. And I think it's that part
That's
where
right.
the sentence above that, where he says, available to anyone who earns our attention. And that's the part, I guess that's where I'm like, that's the part that I think is hard is like the earning people's attention part. You can build anything. I think that's easier than ever. The earning people's attention is harder than ever. That's the hard work that has to be done once you build. So,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
And that's a layer, that's a very Godin layer that we didn't touch on, which is that earned
Mhm.
versus interruption. To go back to space, the orbit's really crowded and really noisy, and there's a lot of interruption, a lot in the way of us that gets in our way. But the hard work of earning the attention of a potential customer, of a new client, like that's very Godin to say it, to phrase it that way. The good work of
Yeah.
using the tools available to earn the attention.
Yes. So true. I love it. Cool. Well, let us know what you think at sethsaidwhat.com. What do you think about all this torque? We would love to hear from you. And yeah, anything else you want to share, Daniel? I think that's it for me.
Just want to encourage you on this Wednesday hump day, Holly, the entrepreneur, the CEO founder of the Ready Network, to keep going. And though you're feeling it, to go for it today. Take a deep breath. You've got this.
Thank you.
Go earn the
Um,
attention. Use all that torque. You got this, Holly.
that twerk always reminds me of twerk. So I'm like envisioning myself twerking. I'm like, that's kind of how it feels. I'm like twerking and twerking over here as I'm doing this thing. I know that was
Oh,
probably inappropriate.
goodness.
I don't mean it inappropriate. It's just those two words remind me of each other. Torque and
We're
twerk.
ending our episodes in PG these days. So here we go.
That's so true. All right. Have a good day.
Talk to you later.